how to grow today on QuickCommerce. Is there any framework to decide which products to get started with, how to select SKUs for QuickCommerce, and how to decide the geography to start? So Blinkit versus Zepto versus Instamart. QuickCommerce has been a part of everyone's daily life. You cannot remove it now. What we realize is that as an advertiser, you need to have inventory yahan pe. How should they prepare for this festive for these quick commerce platforms? Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of AddToCart with Sunny Wadhwani. And today we have no better than him, Mr. Sri Kumar Nair. So, did you feel quick commerce will get expanded to more categories or most categories as what Amazon or Flipkart did?
So I think more and more categories will start coming, will start surprising as well. Some of the categories might be delivered in 10 minutes, some might be delivered in hours, some might be delivered 2 minutes like. But fundamentally,
then where will this Kirana stores and general stores go? Will they get more closed? Are consumers getting open to buying non-legacy, non-naming brands? Or they buy them only when the legacy brands products are not available?
if my brand is not there, I'm not going to wait for like 2 days to get my product. I want it in 10 minutes. If I am more prepared to read signals and react faster, maybe I have an advantage over a legacy.
How to plan ad spends on quick commerce?
The landscape is changing so quickly. What worked yesterday might not work today.
Why do you think it worked pretty much in India and not outside India?
The amount of money that you need to pay for saving your time is so much lesser when it compares to the time that it saves you. If you're talking about 10,000 dark stores and you say my item needs to be everywhere, I think we fundamentally believe Gobble Cube is for everyone. We have a system which helps rather than having to work on Excels and G Sheets. Can we make it easier for them?
Which are the next biggest categories you feel which have already given the signs and might be most biggest on quick commerce? So, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of AddToCart with Sunny Wadhwani. And thank you so much for showing all the love in our previous episodes, all the videos. And we just try to make our best to bring us the guests who have actually done a lot of things in the past, done all the ground level work. And basis on that, they just try and give back to the audience in terms of their experience, in terms of their insights, along with my experience and insights as well. Today's episode, I think, is going to be one of the most special ones because I think it's about that term where most of the people have no idea on talking about quick commerce. Everyone is just rushing to be onboarded on quick commerce, and then after a month or two, they are sitting like this. कि क्या करूं, क्या हो रहा है? Money is burning. Unit economics is not making sense. Should I go back to only Amazon and then Flipkart? Online, offline. I'm online, maybe I think Amazon, Flipkart, or then either working on alpha model and then thinking on quick commerce model. Blinkit has also changed their model as well. So a lot of questions, I think, amongst everyone. So I think we'll try our best to this episode to be, I think, one of the only episode you need related to information, guide, insights, experiences on quick commerce, what's happening in India right now, as a brand, what you should do, as a seller, what you should do, so that you plan your business better in the perfect way in the next 3 to 6 months. And today we have no better than him. I think I have Mr. Sri Kumar Nair. I think everyone calls him in short abbreviation form as Shri. So I think Shri, thank you so much for giving your time. I think means a lot to us.
And thanks a lot, Sunny. Happy to be here. And thanks for all the nice words that you are there to say about me.
Yeah. So I think to give a short intro about Shri, Shri has been in and out the system of, if not quick commerce, then at least Blinkit since a decade. So I think in India, he might be one of the best persons to actually tell you how did e-commerce, quick commerce evolved and where it is right now. So I think he was the part of the core leadership team in Blinkit, and then he started his own, I think, India's leading analytics and automation tool for quick commerce, solving problems for the brands in order to grow their revenue. So yeah, Shri, feel free to add if I missed anything.
No, absolutely. So yeah, so it was I was there at Grofers at Blinkit for almost 7 years. An extremely humbling and learning journey for me. We tried a lot of things, failed, learned, tried more things. So yeah, you might say I know a few things, but I'm still not going to say I know. Like it's like there's still so much to learn and so much to understand about this space. But yeah.
Yeah. So Shri is the founder of a tool named Gobble Cube. I think India's leading analytics and automation tool, running since 3 years. He's already associated with some of the major and marquee brands in India. They're already using this tool. starting with the not going into 2015, but you would be the best person to understand and help the audience know about this ecosystem. ये जो consumer behavior जो change हुआ, how did that happen? I would say from 2015, then it became Grofers. Grofers was delivering the next day. Then COVID came, and COVID ke baad Zepto came, which changed this revolution and the model. So, what exactly happened in the last 5 years that gave birth to a new of this 10-minute delivery model?
I think, see, fundamentally speaking, like if you look at it, I still believe like there are three pillars to success on retail, right? It's faster, more, and cheaper, right?
Faster
What
mode.
right? What quick commerce has done is it's really gone aggressive on one of these levers, right? Completely shifted what faster mean, right? Earlier that dimension was probably same day, maybe like it was about days. It wasn't measured in hours, or maybe even that commerce has just made it into minutes, right?
Correct.
Now
Correct.
this is a fundamental shift, right? And that is what has got consumers really hooked on. It's changed the way they look at like how they want to shop or how they want to consume or purchase items. So I think that's what's really explored. There's a fundamental shift which was required, and that's what's led to this hyper growth, right?
Got it. So
Yeah.
maybe COVID and Zepto are the two main reasons that led to this 10-minute growth right now.
I would say, see, like even at Blinkit, like when we started off actually Grofers, we were 90
Grofers,
minutes,
yeah.
we were 90 minutes delivery, right? And then we
Got it.
pivoted from there. Maybe at that time we didn't have the level of fund. As I said, like it's been a journey of mistakes, of learnings
Correct.
and
Correct.
figuring
Correct.
things out,
Correct.
right? We pivoted to a next day price led model, right? So it was always, I think, it's always in our DNA. We want to be faster. So these discussions always used to happen here. What can we, and especially like out that like especially like Albis or of the founders, they will always keep pushing here. What can we do differently? So of course, like when something got tried out, there was also things tried out outside India, like Get Air and all of those. We saw that that's also a thing. So it was always in our, we were always wondering like how can we make it faster. So there were a lot of internal experiments we had done even before those times. We were trying 2 hour delivery. Is it working? Maybe bring it down to minutes, and we could see the uptake that was happening in terms of consumer conversion or retention, all of that. So there was always that I think we need to get faster, and then that's how I think I would say it evolved. That confidence kept getting built up, and said that.
Yeah. So I would go back a little previous and then in the current as well. It's maybe because this model didn't work in US and outside India, because I think there the entire family goes once a month to the supermarkets and all and just stock up everything once a month. And maybe I think because of this reason, Amazon also slowed down because Amazon is again is India's largest MNC, or I would say a very process oriented company. They were also very cautious key model. If hasn't worked in the US, why will it work in India? But I think upside down turn happened. So what is your take on it? I know consumer behavior is very different when you compare US and India, but why do you think it worked pretty much in India and not outside India, I would say?
There are multiple takes for this which exist in
Yeah.
the market. And I also have there are multiple theories which go around. But fundamentally, if you things deliver things faster, people would prefer that. There is no like this fake intuitive, right? If I want something and I get it, I'll like it better than having to wait for a day. And I think where India mein there's a fundamental advantage when it comes to operating costs, right? Or how you can operate such a like a 10-minute delivery model as compared to the US, which I think the
Hmm.
unit economics would have never worked out there,
Never
right?
worked out there.
And of course, there are theories that which also start making sense. Here, India, may like, it's not easy to travel around in a city. It takes so much of
Hmm.
your time. There's also theory saying that okay, because operating costs are lower, you are saying that you like like you can save time by like the amount of money that you need to pay for your like for saving your time is so much lesser when it compares to like the time that it saves you. And of course, this is key. There's another theory which I heard here, ki ghar pe, the house are not big enough for people to stock up, so people can't fundamentally stock up. So I think it's maybe all of this have been a reason, but it's very intuitive, right? Like you are able to get something in 10 minutes, people will value that. It's just that the way the operating cost that exists in India just allowed for that.
Correct.
And of course, it has to be but to make it work, you have to be extremely sharp with execution. That
Hmm.
execution has to be razor sharp, right? And which is where you need tech systems to be able to do that. So a combination of these these factors have really helped, I think.
Got
Yeah,
it. I'll come on to the data, but directly asking out of this, since now quick commerce has been a part of everyone's daily life, you cannot remove it now. Maybe before Amazon, people have started opening Blinkit, Zepto, or even
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Instamart as well. And
yeah,
those who
yeah,
are in Bangalore or Delhi, wherever now is available, they've started
yeah.
opening now only. So that whether I want to place any other grocery or any product. So did you feel quick commerce will get expanded to more categories or most categories as what Amazon or Flipkart did?
I think I have a slightly different take. I think commerce in India will actually become quick commerce in some way. What might
Okay.
change is the boundary conditions, right? Some of the categories might be delivered in 10 minutes, some might be delivered in hours, some might be delivered
Yeah,
in
yeah,
2 minutes,
correct.
right? But fundamentally, that shift, people are going to start thinking about what is the supply chain distribution which is required to say that can I challenge the 1 day or the 2 day restriction or that boundary that we have imposed? Can that be taken away? So I think it would become quick commerce as a concept will extend, which will start covering more categories.
Yeah, matlab, I was
Yeah,
also few of the founders have also told exactly the same thing,
yeah,
which you've said that in future everything cannot be delivered in 10 minutes. I think
yeah.
that's not feasible for all the platforms as well. Like I think super saver of Zepto, I think that comes from a little far place. That's why their delivery rate, if I'm not wrong, is around I think 20 25 minutes.
Yeah,
That's what,
exactly.
yeah. And
But I think discussions will now start. 1 day is a taken. You have to what we have to figure out is how do we bring it lesser than that. Like
how do
one
you
day is
bring it to that?
probably not will probably be kere to it's a constraint which needs to be removed. Like we have to think of better distribution supply chains which enables us to do that.
One very interesting point you said that Sunny Commerce will be quick commerce is any of the some ways in the next couple of years. Then where will this Kirana stores and general stores go? Will they get more closed or they will also, as a Kirana store owner, yeah, as a Parchun wala, I also need to rethink of my strategy so that my shop doesn't get closed.
I think that's an interesting question. This is basically the consumer is in a way saying, "Ki, this is what I value, right? Like, then of course there'll be different thresholds for like what can be provided conveniently. Convenience will also come at a cost, right? It's not that it can be completely taken away. So somewhere it will be Kirana stores adapting to this need and somewhere
Okay.
saying that I'm still relevant to a section of audience who cannot afford a quick commerce solution. And somewhere I'd say, "Ki, I'll start my service levels will start matching what quick commerce is offering." So I think there's going to be enough innovation, as you say, right? When you have to solve for a problem, that becomes the paramount thing. You are able to find solutions, right? So I think that will play out here is what I think. It's not going to get killed. I think there is enough jugaad in our
Yeah,
ecosystem to
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to figure out a solution here.
Yeah, correct. But I think with this third, I think would have also the 2.5 lakh Kirana stores have been closed because of I would say this 10-minute delivery model.
Yeah, but I think that'll come back. We will figure out solutions. People will figure out solutions how to
People will
exist
figure out
in this new reality. And there will always be like a consumer or a use case which cannot be served through the conventional
conventional way.
Qcom,
Yeah, yeah,
and then Kiranas will start playing that role where they serve that use case really well. Right.
correct. Now coming to very important question now, since you keep seeing the data in your software as well, maybe you can give a very longer or broader answer on this basis on the data and insights. How to grow today on quick commerce? I'll be
Okay.
very direct.
Fundamentally, when you look at this supply chain, what I said earlier, it is about really sharp execution. You cannot have any leakages.
So when you mean really sharp execution, can you divide into different departments?
Yeah, so I'll like give you one example, right? When I'm saying that quick commerce, fundamentally, you'll figure out space is always going to be constrained, which means the system has to optimize for revenue or sales per square feet, like or throughput
Yeah,
per
yeah,
square
yeah.
feet, right? Now, to be able to, which means that everybody who has to win in this ecosystem has to start figuring out how do they do it, how do they understand this better, and how do they adapt their distribution and their spends and price and promotion strategy to be able to do this. So which means you will need to, as I say, that you will need to have strategies. You say this is how I identify winner SKUs on quick commerce. That goes right from understanding, and these winner SKUs will probably be exist at a hyper local level. It is not going to be one SKU is the winner across all regions, right? Quick commerce is a high throughput and a hyper local game at the end of it, right? Every like unlike Amazon where you put it on 5 warehouses and you're serving the entire of India.
Yeah,
That's not the case,
entire of
right?
India. Correct.
You're probably talking about I'm managing sales through 10,000 outlets or 20,000 outlets in the future, which means there will come in hyperlocal nuances which you need to understand and master. So people who are able to do that, like identify, okay, this is how I'll make sure that my throughput or my like my revenue per square feet, which I'm able to achieve through quick commerce, what should my execution strategy be to maximize that? Starts from right from what is the assortment I'm selecting, how hyperlocal am I in that strategy, how am I designing my distribution supply chain to understand like the quick commerce supply chain is so different from like conventional supply chain. Right?
Very true.
They don't exist on 45, 50 days of inventory. They're
Hmm.
fundamentally saying that you'll have to. The question is, how do I ensure availability at let's say a 10 to 12 days of inventory, but how do I keep sure that I'm still available 95 or 100% of the time? And which are the SKUs which will enable me to do that, right? How do I focus? Okay, this is the SKU which I can take a bet and I can make it. I can operate at these levels, right? And how do I then raise like sharpen my execution, be it here? How do I completely track my availability right from what is the like when I say tracking availability, it's not just about backend. Right? You'll have to track what is my availability at a dark store level, what is my availability at the backend level.
Back at it.
If it is not availability, what is the reason? Is the reason that like is it a fill rate problem for me? Is it a transfer problem? Is it a listing problem? Or is it a forecasting problem? Like how can I get sharper and more thing? And fundamentally, how is my supply chain saying that like I can deliver more quickly? Right. So like you're saying that a 12-day the inventory model will require you to be more agile, more reactive, have shorter delivery times, right, and delivering more frequently. So how do I master all of these to win on quick commerce is going to be, and of course, like my promotions and my spend strategies align with this. And
And yes,
spending on SKUs or on SKU city combination where I can react faster, because
correct.
that's fundamentally where the returns will come.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
interesting. I'll deep dive on
mm,
this as well.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think when you said assortment selection, because considering all the marquee brands and all have access to a lot of things.
yeah,
When a small to mid-sized brands who's doing a decent business, I would say a lakh, one
yeah,
and a half. They are not small, they're mid-size, I would say. Small would be, I think, around doing around less than 15, 20 lakhs on
mm,
Amazon. Mid-size would be around doing 50 lakhs on Amazon,
yeah,
similar to maybe Flipkart and all. Now, when they are planning to, and they are ready to onboard it, उनका जो भी
yeah,
approval and all process है is done. Now they are sitting and they are asking with Sunny or even Shri as well that Amazon पे तो I have around 25, 50 SKUs. All those SKUs with I cannot start on Blinkit, maybe
exactly, yeah,
considering. So
yeah.
when you said that assortment selection, is there any framework to decide which products to get started with? Very interesting point when you said that space is constrained. Does that mean that the products or brands who are fast moving and repeatable enough, they should think about moving on to quick commerce more? Because I think the products like Lunchbox, that will be bought once in a year. I think
Hmm.
उनका जो movement है, it will be very slow. I was working with a brand named Basil, which are I think into lunch boxes and all, but it is bought only once a year. So
Hmm.
मेरा stock है that is kept there. I will be paying that rental fees which Blinkit takes. I think 2 rupees per SKU per dark stores. Capital also get blocked if the product is not
Yeah, yeah.
repeating faster. So yeah, first is how to selecting the products, the assortment selection, and second, I think as a brand, should they actually think कि अभी onboard होना है, depending upon their repeatability behavior.
See, I'll slightly tackle the second question. There are some category nuances which are going to be there. Right, a lunchbox will not be bought as frequently as, let's say, grocery item. And fundamentally, you say the commerce platforms. As I said, quick commerce and e-com, the lines will start merging.
Hmm.
They will start figuring out need to make this category. I need to solve for this category.
So all for this category, correct?
And you need to be smart to figure out here it's a category like lunchbox mean I should place all my SKUs in all dark stores. Is that what I
Hmm.
need to go for? Or do I need to say that I'll place it in fewer dark stores or probably place it in a mega dark store, which is one location gives me access to a much wider audience, but let's say with a 30-minute delivery time, right?
Got it.
And then learn quickly, okay, this is an SKU which is selling, this can probably move to a 10-minute service rather than saying
Hmm.
that.
Interesting.
So
Great point.
yeah, so I think it's a learning experience. I don't think it'll be because it's going to be a solution with both platforms try to give an option and both platforms and brands learn to try to learn together. Right? And people who are able to move faster on this, okay, faster from this learning point and be humble enough to say that okay, maybe I need to rethink how I'm this thing that people are able to learn the signals faster and execute smarter will emerge.
Got it.
But you're right. If you don't do that, the amount of capital that can get blocked, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
from
true.
a pure point of view that I'm saying, let's say if you're talking about 10,000 dark stores and you say my item needs to be everywhere, and let's say even one SKU, I'm saying you're saying 10,000 units get blocked, right? You don't, and like very few SKUs which will sell like 10,000 units a day. That's like
Correct.
massive this thing, right? So yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
coming back to the assortments, I'll divide that
yeah.
how to select SKUs for quick commerce and how to decide the geography to start with.
So see, of course, and that's what we help brands do. Like Meena told, that was one of the things we wanted to give brands an understanding of. So I'll just slightly let into why we started quick commerce. Like what we figured out, we wanted to give a slightly deeper understanding of what is quick commerce to brands that we thought that was missing, right from okay, what does quick commerce mean, how many dark stores do even exist, like people were just tracking things at pin code level or maybe at city level, right? We thought we need to go deeper. Can we help brands understand how many dark stores exist, right? What does that landscape look like, right?
Right.
How many SKUs are selling in a category, right? What is the distribution by, let's say, pack size, by price points? And this also, when we evolve, this also gives you an understanding, okay, where is it that the gap lies, which I can really plug into. So you need to be smart about, okay, this is where I think the gap is. And the gap might not exist, it's not necessarily exist at a pan-India level. Right? You might say
Got it.
that I know that tier two cities in North India, there this price point and this pack size is not covered. Or
Mm,
like then I'll go to like a Zepto, Instamart, or a Blinkit and tell them, yeah, this is what I can offer you. This is not covered. I will make sure that I can serve this. Rather
yes.
than rather than you everybody fighting for Delhi, Bombay, which is anyways uh, slightly cluttered. Do you want to figure out that there's a hyper local strategy you have where you think this is a gap which you can cover. So
Great.
how do you understand the landscape and say where do you fit in? Right? Or is
Mm,
it like you have proven your use case on, let's say, Amazon. It's easier to prove. There is a my product has a USP which is working. Pitch it to QuickCommerce. This is not something you're serving this consumer or this need you're not able to cater. My product has proven. I think this is where probably in that case you'll have a discussion. Maybe I'll launch it on premium locations first if it's a premium
mm,
product, rather than spreading myself. Learn from there if it's working, what's working, and then probably expand. So I think a lot of planning should go into where do you fit in, why should you fit in, like
got it. No, I think I also would agree with you because I heard that Lenskart went to Blinkit
yeah,
saying that I'm more into specs and all. They just presented that the category which Lenskart could open for Blinkit was sunglasses.
yeah,
Sunglasses थे ही नहीं Blinkit पे. I think
exactly,
this I'm talking about, I think 1.5 years back. Then Blinkit
exactly.
said yes. And then yes, sunglasses became a category on Blinkit जो exist ही
Exactly,
नहीं करती.
exactly. And again, I think some of these assumptions will get challenged and will be revelation get this is not like I think we have this is not a quick com category, this is a e-com category, all assumptions, right? Which will keep getting once it's there'll be enough experimentation which will happen, which will lead us to understanding, okay, this is working. And we've been surprised here, right? I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Platforms also doing pretty well. I've seen Blinkit completely changing their UI on
Yeah,
every festive. I
yeah,
think
yeah, exactly.
and that really pushes the
Yeah,
consumers
yeah,
की
yeah,
मतलब for example घर पे everyone doesn't keeps that big Ganesh ji in their home on Ganesh
yeah,
Chaturthi नहीं
yeah,
रखते हैं but वो
yeah,
I think वो बैनर देख के कंज्यूमर will be like कोई बात नहीं मैं छोटा सा रख लेता हूँ जो कि
exactly.
शायद परचेज बिहेवियर में नहीं था but just seeing because they changed their UI, whether that is Ganesh Chaturthi, now Navratri is coming, Blinkit will go crazy, all
Yeah,
these platforms will go crazy. Onam Pay,
100%,
they completely make it
100%.
on Onam. And I
Yeah,
think if I conclude on this, that's what you suggest to brands as well, that you also need to think, I think, on that region and a hyper local level where you're
100%.
actually consumers are actually sitting.
I think where your consumers are thinking, and today, which is it that which is a region which you can serve or execute sharply on. So like your turnaround times, your distribution might not be same for all locations. Right?
Correct.
So you'll need to focus where you can serve and then focus here. Okay, I'll focus on this region because see, it is not going to be possible to predict demand accurately. This
Mm,
is going to be a game where how quickly can you react? So
correct.
you'll need to figure out that this is so there will be two things. I think A, how quickly do you read signals and how quickly do
Mm,
you react? Right. Both of these things are extremely important. And you need to say I SKU slash which city do I have strengths on this aspect, right? Let me focus there, right?
Mm,
So that's fundamentally going to give you better returns. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Now, I think one thing which everyone keeps talking about is the term of premiumization in India. We've
yeah.
seen brands like Mokobara, Rare Rabbit doing exceptionally well, grew on that exponential graph. But I'm not talking about over the India or e-commerce end. I'll stick to quick commerce only on this. Mokobara got listed on Blinkit. Even Apple also listed their iPhones on these platforms as well. But we consumers, when we think about when the product is maybe above 1,000 or 2,000, maybe we think for a second or maybe think for a second time कि थोड़ा और research करता हूँ, I would say, especially for a product like iPhone, or I would say a bag of 6,000 coming from हमने हमेशा से I think we've already purchased bags of I would say 1,000, 1,500 or up to 2,000. Suddenly we see a brand with stylish design, good quality in terms of suitcase trolleys and all कि एयरपोर्ट के बेल्ट में मेरा बैग एकदम अलग से दिख रहा है. That is again from that show off wala thing in it. But you also feel that this premiumization cannot be stopped. It's bound to happen on these quick commerce as well.
Yeah, I think definitely maybe there's a massive gap between like some mass product and a premium product, right? There's a mass premium product which is here. It is not it's not luxury or like extremely affordable, but it is also like the expectations that I have as a consumer, right? It's able to meet my expectations. I think show off this might be a slightly might not be the word I would use, but I have expectations. Like what is the
Correct,
kind of aesthetics I will like, what is the kind of
correct,
design I will like, and that has been made accessible now, right? So there's this as you say, you keep seeing there's an aspiring middle income or the Z
correct,
group
correct, correct,
whose needs have been met here, which is how you just read what does your consumer really want, right? What is the combination and how well have you been able to understand all the requirements and how has your execution been able to meet that criteria? It's
absolutely.
like both as I said, affordability as well as the expectation of the product. You need to be balancing both of those things to be able to succeed.
Got it. Now, since you talked about Festive, BBD GIF
Yeah,
is already there, and we've been
yeah,
seeing since a decade now. When the Big Billion Days, I think I was in uh, college in 2016 when they were selling pen drives at five rupees. Since then, this BBD and all is this is running. People talk a lot about how to prepare for this. 3 months back, 1 month back,
yeah,
7 days back.
yeah.
Now, since I think all these dates are out, so where do you think that from both the ends, I would say, one is from platforms and will this make Amazon and Flipkart give slightly stress because these platforms will definitely take some share? And from the brand's end, how should they prepare for this festive for these quick commerce platforms where I think everyone talks about how to prepare for festive on e-com. Quick com के लिए कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा है.
And I think, see, I do feel ki it is not going to be one answer for all categories, right?
Correct.
Like there are like festive in India itself is so huge, right? You right from apparels to electronics to your your immediate gifting needs or your, as you said, puja needs. Like it's involved so many things that you're going to
Absolutely.
buy,
Very true.
right? And different platforms will be slightly better when it comes to serving these use cases, right?
Correct.
Like what's the selection that they offer, what is the confidence that they offer, what is the time of delivery that they offer, right? And how does the consumer think of it, right? So I think it's not going to be one generic answer in e-com. It's going to be category wise.
Great. Correct.
Coming to the next question, which you ask, how does Qcom? So I think fundamentally, I think like we'll have to break down festive also into different this thing, right?
Different. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you just take Navratri as an example, it's fasting plus Kanjak plus Dashera, right?
Correct.
It's like
Correct.
three
Correct.
three
Correct.
three smaller use cases,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
there is
Correct.
Diwali, which is slightly different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Slightly different. Yeah.
Some of these use cases, you will see that the buying period is 3 days, 3 or 4 days, right? Where people buy, they have to buy. I said Diwali, what you would see the purchase actually starts happening for Diwali as a use case, maybe 15 days, 20 days. Earlier. Then it
15.
peaks, right? And you would see on quick commerce, the peak is right towards the end. It is
Right
not
towards
like
the end.
a,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Very
you
true.
should, yeah, so you'll have to, yeah. So I think to be able to win, you need to understand this and quickly pick up signals, right? So, like say, if I take Diwali as an example, like how quickly, like you would have had a forecast, you could have, and of course that's V0, right? Like you should have planned, okay, this is the SQ I want to focus, this is the city I want to focus, this is how much I want to send, this is how much I'm going to spend on like merch, this is how I'm going to spend on search. All of those things are paramount. but you will need to be prepared to read signals which challenges these assumptions of yours.
Got
Right.
it.
Okay, what is happening? Are there certain cities which are where the demand is outgoing what I had predicted, right?
Hmm.
Does that mean that I need to readjust my plan to see, okay, maybe these are going to sell more. I need to be prepared from my supply chain point of view. And of course, as I said again, fundamentally you have to be saying that okay, this is not a 45-day inventory okay, this is
Yeah.
something I need to react quicker. So
React totally. Yeah.
I need to be aligned to be able to execute faster. But how do these signals then tell me how to adjust or readjust? Right? How should my uh, the entire supply chain preparedness or the delivery, how can I deliver faster to this thing? How can I readjust what I need to work on? How do I readjust my my spend strategy, which asset to? How do I readjust my promotion strategy and keep on it, right? It's just about reading those signals and reacting quickly. But of course, at the fundamental level, be ready. Okay, this is going to happen, and I have to react to this. Like there is no point thinking that you'll react, but you're not ready to actually execute on the ground. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for smaller D2C players to be able to really say that, like, if I am more prepared to read signals and react faster, maybe I have an advantage over a legacy or an
That's very,
incumbent
yeah.
like who doesn't is not able to move at this speed, right? So I can actually outperform them instead. And this gives you bigger demand and fundamentally allows you to charge a premium if you're
Hmm.
this thing, right? Winning on quick commerce allows you to charge that premium over. I think this is a great opportunity, but yes, as I said, you need to really understand. You really need to build a system which can react faster. You need to have a system which reads signals faster to tell what to adjust and how to react.
Oh, I think great point. I think the veterans say this that customer first is always surprises us. That you also said, and it's very important to read the customer signals, which you get it from
Yeah,
data, which most
and
of the
start
brands
and start
avoid it. I would say, yeah. They
start
say
reading
read.
it faster and start reading it faster, right? So that you're reading it from maybe day minus 15 instead of like day into day minus 5 where you then can't react much.
Absolutely. Now, one very important and a critical thing wanted to ask from a consumer and the brand's end. Couple of months back, I think this platform was only for the bigger and the marquee brands like
Yeah,
Maggi, Sunfeast, Britannia, L'Oreal, Boat, all these bigger brands. Whereas when we consider Amazon, Amazon is a search-heavy platform.
yeah.
Customers come there and actually search, check about the products and buy. Second, but my main question is on platforms like Zepto, Instamart, or even Blinkit as well. Are consumers getting open to buying non-legacy, non-naming brands, or they buy them only when the legacy brands products are not available?
So I think that's what probably somewhere what platforms have done is that I am use case first and not brand first. I want
Got
a
it.
catch up in 10 minutes. So I'm ready to shift. If my brand is not there, I'm not going to wait for 2 days to get my product. I want it in
Got
10
it.
minutes. Of course, you need to be smart enough to say that I am able to really latch onto this use case quickly.
Hmm.
Right. And I'm able to, of course, my product builds that confidence. It's not the way I position my product, the price my product, you have to be smart there. But fundamentally, it is, I say, the 10-minute or platform first. I said this thing as it's shifting towards as compared to I'm brand first in my thinking.
Correct.
Right. So that gives an opportunity, as I said, somebody who's able to execute sharply, understand
Thank you. Yeah.
how is the QCOM distribution systems different from the existing modern trade or the GT system. They will have a bigger chance of success here.
Oh, I think great point. That would give confidence to a lot of D2C players and how to compete with
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
marquee on
yeah,
these platforms.
and we see that like there are so many categories where uh, the d- the direct to consumer, the more nimble brands, which I talk, the more brands are able to challenge incumbents so much more effectively on, let's say, on quick commerce as compared to your GT ecosystem, right? Because this is where they are saying we are executing so much better, and that's just showing in what is the market share they occupy versus what they occupy in other channels.
Got it. Now, coming to a very important section about ad spends. When Amazon was just growing like this, it was like they are just challenging Google and Meta ads.
Yeah,
Same is that, yes, we are very far, but again, Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, Big Basket, every year the numbers come. So they are more
yeah.
than, I think, 100 crores. Or
So,
if you combine all these platforms, the ad spends revenue would be close to, I would say, 700, 800, or 1,000 crores total.
yeah.
Is there a framework you suggest how to plan ad spends on quick commerce? Because me also operating into this from the last 6 months, it's very different from Amazon. You're just available in MBA, review rating set, listings and all are there. Amazon, ठीक है, most of the time it will be sorted. I think it's not
Yeah.
that, yes, complicated, I understand. But quick commerce is a very different game. What we realize is that as an advertiser, you need to have inventory यहाँ पे, that कि इसकी inventory
100%.
basis on
And
that. Yeah. Yes, coming
100%.
back to you, any framework on how to
100%.
do
100%.
ad spends on?
And that's what I also agree. Like, and to an extent, you're saying कि यार पिछले 3 साल में Amazon के playbooks बन गए. Right? People have
Hmm.
figured it out. This is what works. It's fairly this thing. You just don't need to mess it up, right? कि at least
Yeah,
for the
correct. Don't
basic
need
rule
to miss it.
and mess up. As a simpler thing, yeah, make it उनके back end warehouses में and then start spending and start
Uh,
making sure you're not leaking or your basics are in place. And of course, then product market fit is just a given. If you don't have it, then it
mm-hmm.
will not work out. What I'm saying. I think quick commerce, I think it's evolving, right? And what is the most interesting thing is how closely linked is your availability or your distribution to your spends,
Got it.
right? Like even if you are, that's what I say. Like even if you're stocking out when you're spending, right?
Hmm.
It's almost like saying I'm cannibalizing my organic sales, right? So
Absolutely. Very
like
smart.
so which is important. So how closely knit is your availability to your spends? And now the second phase, is it just your availability or competition's availability also?
Competition.
That
Correct.
is right, like how closely linked this is. This thing. And of course, the pricing and all of this. And the most important dimension is all of this will vary at a hyper local level. Right? It
Hmm.
is because fundamentally, if you're saying each of the dimensions which are like an availability is going to vary at a hyper local level or at a level, which means your optimizations will have to be at that level,
At
right?
that level.
You will
Absolutely.
right. And secondly, I think it's evolving so quickly. Like a playbook which you had yesterday might not work today, right? Which means that like people are figuring out things, people are trying out new things. The landscape is changing so quickly, right? Which means you have to be again like it's about reading signals and adapting. The let's say even the humility to say here what worked yesterday is not working. I need to change.
Change it.
I need to be agile enough to change and execute. So I think that's what's to me is going to be the and playbooks will get defined over a period of time. This is how you need to operate on quick commerce. Yeah,
Got it. So I think now the QuickCom advertisers have to be more agile, as compared to Amazon.
definitely.
Like in Amazon, it is said that you should not disturb the campaign so much. Learning अपनी खत्म हो जाती है. But in this case, you have to be very agile. Like I think I also keep suggesting and keep telling the brands as well. For example, you have one SKU which is available, I would say 200, 250 units in the entire city.
Yeah,
And you are available, I would say, in 30, 40 dark. So I would say maybe 100 dark stores. Per dark store, mein, I have only 2 to 3 units.
yeah,
There is no point of running ads. A product अपने आप organically निकल जाएगा. You
and
save this money and spend somewhere else.
exactly. And this is I think I was talking to somebody very interesting came out now. Performance marketers, or when you're doing performance marketing, you need to be aware of the supply chain. That you cannot operating without understanding what your availability is, what is the depth you're sitting in, what is your capability to replenish, right? Do you I think otherwise you would have executed, things would have fallen. You're explaining why you failed, right?
Correct.
Rather than saying that while executing, I already know I've taken this, so I'm like my execution takes into account all these factors.
Hmm.
I think I think that is going to be that's going to be the change. You can't just
Yeah, yeah,
be like as you said, you can't just be for you need to have your right at the top down. What is my
yeah.
distribution look like? What is my availability? What does the capability to absorb spike in demand look like to replenish faster? Where is it that my spend? That's where my spend should reflect that, right? My spend
Yeah,
strategy should reflect
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So, so
Meta or a Google advertiser doesn't need to think much about the availability
yeah,
because they are selling products from website, from their one single warehouse. Then came Amazon and all that. Yes, you
yeah,
need to be slightly aware that my products is in FBA and मैं अगले 1 डेढ़ महीने तक out of stock नहीं होगा. Then came a revolution that
right.
अभी तक के advertisers inventory से दूर रहते थे because at the end you also agree ये थोड़ा boring है. Supply
Exactly,
chain कितनी inventory है पहुंची नहीं पहुंची. So this was more of performance marketing, a very I would say a little bit of a glamour type कि हाँ मजा आ रही है, ad spends हो रहे हैं, sale हो रही है. But now it's more of, I would say that's what you said, reading customer signals and very sharp execution. सिर्फ ad चला के product booster SP Zepto में ad चला दी, inventory proper नहीं है, that wouldn't work.
Right. And at the expense of just pushing what we are doing also, I want to, and this is a problem statement which we identified, ki, as you said, right, ki, which we could solve. How do we make it
Yeah.
easy for somebody to absorb all this information and execute, right?
I think Shri, 3 years back you started Gobble Cube.
Yeah,
First, I want to know. Yes, we've already. I think 50% you've already explained. क्या
yeah,
problems है that once you left Blinkit, I think sort of very massive decision. You already were part of a co-leadership team, and then starting as an entrepreneur again from scratch. I must know that would have been a very difficult experience. Not very easy. Yes, ease of doing business in India is uh, at one of the top, but at the end, it's definitely not easy to set up a new business leaving that job. And so, what were the mistakes, or I would say, what were the gaps, pain points, problems you saw in the market in 2022 only? जब quick commerce इतना revolutionize नहीं हुआ था. This shows that you are able to forecast better. You are able to make demands better. And then second, how is Gobble Cube today solving that? Is Gobble Cube very close to it? I think the reason why you started, are you very close? Do you feel that yes, this tool is perfect? And third, again, is it applicable for all kinds of brands today?
I think it was just so many people coming together to solve this. I think this the co-leadership as a concept wasn't very this thing. It was a very flat organization where you could do that. So I think it was a very humbling experience, as you just said, right? Uh, and uh, and we figured out, like, we had a mindset to say, "Okay, okay, we'll fail. We need to figure out why we failed, right?" Which forced us to, okay, let's track metrics, let's track data which gives us better answers, right? So what that and what I realized is, yeah, when brands were coming and talking to us, right, they didn't have access to these these data points. They knew the importance. There was absolute this thing here, you have to be data driven, but they didn't have access to the same depth at which we had to be able to solve problems. And I saw this as an opportunity. And I think one of the things that really helped Blinkit, which I thought scale faster, is the systems and the data frameworks that we had to problems
Got
solving, right? So in fact, Rowan was part of our team here, had built out something which helped us really understand, okay, like how quick, like it was about how quickly do I get to know like conversions for a dark store are down, right? How quickly can I pinpoint it to saying is it a delivery time problem, which is a manpower problem? Is it an assortment problem that I just started talking out? And we saw that working out, okay, when we were monitoring things at a hyper local and like eh, as you say, low latency level. It's not like I'm coming to know about it after 30 minutes. I'm immediately coming to know and rectifying it or fixing it. That's what drove that growth, right? Where we were able to do that. So that belief was that if brands also do that, they will also grow better, right? Okay, that's how platforms operate. If you operate, and that's why we started. Can we bridge this gap? Okay, can we do this for brands? Like, a even like maybe figure out what are the metrics you should be monitoring at a quick comms level. What granularity should you be monitoring, right? How does monitoring of metrics tell you what is the thing to fix, prioritize for you? Because as you said, like a 10,000 dark store, comma, like a 50 SQs can feel like a massive amount of action items that you'll need. How do you prioritize? This is the biggest problem statement which I need to fix today. So that's where we saw the opportunity. Okay, can we help brands first prioritize which is the problem to solve? Basically, what all data is required for you to come to that answer, right? And maybe even like what we're now working on. So once we're able to identify what to do, can we also help them execute? Right.
Okay,
Which is
got it.
which is which is where the performance marketing execution or the availability
Okay,
execution tool that we are working on. Well, how
okay,
do I? So that is where this idea was. Okay, okay, this is going to be like a core belief came from how teams at Blinkit, which it's a learning experience for me also, like how everybody is coming up with new ideas of how to use data to solve their problems, and how I saw that happening there, to say that can we replicate it for brands, that approach, make it easier for them to execute.
got it. So 3 years now.
Yeah.
Where are you? Have you reached to that level that you, whatever the thoughts, whatever the
No, no.
learning experience, have you created that the entire thing?
I think if you ask me, I'm like, there is not even 1% there of where are
Okay.
right now. I think we might have, like, we right now know 10 more things that we need to do. So execution, that's the gap. But I think our thoughts also need to be like, what are the other, there are,
Got it.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
sure there'll be 90 more things that we need to do. So I think if you ask me, the endeavor is to, so at any point, if you ask me, I know, we know, okay, there's so much to do more, even from a understanding and thinking point of view, and then like even more from an execution point of view. But it's been really rewarding this journey. The brands that we're working with, the feedback that we're getting, right? Like how they've been open to even helping us build better, like even telling us what's working, what's not working, helps us prioritize problems better. So it's been the ecosystem has also been extremely supportive of
Supportive.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's a long way to go. We just started off. I think this is the
So I think term which you've been using, read customer signals very
yeah.
regularly. So do I assume that this tool will help me read it faster?
So right now, when I say customer signals, right now what we are looking at is even like demand signals. That's what we are trying to help you read faster. So basically, I'm saying that yes, our tool is trying to figure out what are the signals which you need to read faster, right? So mm, rather than telling you this item is stocked out, which is of course, which is a thing, can we also tell you this is an item which has a risk of stocking out? You need to change your. It's not just about what has already happened, but what could happen, right? How do we figure that out? So of course, for those the signals that we need to read is like where is it that the demand has gone beyond what we estimated it to be, which means things need to change, or as you said that from a performance point of view, we're reading signals, right? Okay, this is where your competition is talking out. That's a signal,
Okay.
or they seem to be. You can react quickly and maybe reset quickly back, right? When things change, right? So as I said, it cannot. You need to react, read more and more signals, and react faster to that. So that is where it is. If you're trying to, as you said, yes, that's a point. How do we get you to read more signals, and how do we help you act on that faster, right?
Got it. So, for Amazon, what we've seen, the all the tools which are there in the market that are mostly built in a way that they're there for the larger size brands.
Yeah.
Whatever the tools that are there, made in India or even made in US as well. That's why you see that the adoption of those tools in India is very low, I would say, as
Yeah.
compared to US or UK's of the market for Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in India, people still brands don't even use Helium 10. एक third party tool तो बहुत दूर की
Yeah.
बात है, I would say. So for this, since you've been building this since 3 years, are you also building on those similar lines, or you say that no, Sunny, Gobble Cube is there for everyone?
Absolutely. I think we fundamentally believe Global Cube is for everyone, right?
Okay.
Because I think we want to learn more. So you get to learn more when you expose yourself to more use cases, more need requirements, right? We'll try to solve as much as we can, right? It's not that we'll be able to solve every problem, but our belief is that we want to be for everyone, right? From like uh, somebody who's even wanting to start off on quick commerce, can we give him an understanding of what the landscape is, help him make better decisions?
Got it. That's great.
Let's say somebody who's just started off on Qcom, right? How do we help him like solve for, let's say, availability or distribution without, and there the use cases, I'm sure they'll be low on resources. So can we have
Correct, correct.
a
Yeah.
system which help them rather than having to work on Excels and G sheets? Can we make it easier for them, right? Like tell them easily, these are the 5 tasks you need to do today. We've done all the maths behind it to tell you why you should be like to figure out what you should be doing, and we've just surfaced this for you. These are the actions that you need. And of course, with and as you grow bigger, your problem statements evolve. So I'm saying that okay, now from an execution point of view, I want to have more strategic inputs, right? What is it that I
Right.
should be worrying about strategically fixing? How do I spend my performance marketing strategy more effective, right? How do I get efficiency there? To then saying that how do I get more efficient about like gaining market share, because then that becomes like a problem. How do I define more hyper local strategies? How do I have deeper conversations with platform? So yeah, so I think our tool is for at least right now we want it to be for, we think we can solve problems for brands at different stages. So it is not just for the bigger ones.
One very important or the last question would be Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart. Your experience from that side as an enabler, as a tech enabler, how should a brand react or think? Is there a framework? I know your tool will absolutely help it, but coming outside the tool, how should they plan? किस पे onboard होना चाहिए? What should they think? What is your experience in terms of geographies and all? So Blinkit versus Zepto versus Instamart.
So again, there are multiple ways of thinking about it, right? As you said, like if you look at geographies, there's a clear distinction, right? There is Blinkit is very strong when it comes to NCR, right? The gap starts to dwindling when it comes to maybe southern India, where Instamart is stronger, or let's say Chennai, where Zepto is stronger. So there are clear we'll have figured out that's important, but it also tells you where is which is the problem that the platform might be facing, right? Like Instamart might have more problems when it comes to NCR. So if you're able to provide a solution, there's an opportunity to do that, right? So you can look at it from multiple lenses, right? Because at the end of it, platforms also want to build. I think they're fundamentally wanting to win all geographies. I think it's not that
Correct.
they've written off any geography, right? So I think, and they'll be focused. And they're extremely smart, like all the people that were solving this problem. They'll also, it can be looked at as an opportunity also, like trying to understand what is it that I can do for this. And I think all of them are also in different stages when it comes to being system driven. Like, of course, there is Blinkit would has advantage of having been solving this problem for a longer time, so slightly systems are more evolved, right? I think Instamart and Zepto are catching up really quickly. The amount of tech
Yeah, yeah, correct.
investments they're doing, and the system that they're churning out is much more faster. I also like to. I think Zepto is very heavy when it comes to innovation, trying out new things, right, which is also required. And uh, but all of these things, what I feel is that people are ready to quickly learn from each other and latch on, right? I think there's a lot of humility also, like what all three platforms have here. We will try to learn things from each other, and what has worked out, we will have our own time, but we'll continue to innovate and come up with new things. I think what it also means that you also need to be on top of what is how is the platform evolving, both from a capability and an opportunity point of view that it offers you, right? Yeah.
I think great point. Thank you so much for giving your
Thank you.
time. I think must be a great playbook for anyone who wants to onboard, already onboarded, doing some
Definitely.
decent sales. Uh, I think thank you so much for giving a lot of
Thanks.
gold insights, faster, more cheaper, always be humbling, read customer signals faster. That is that one word I will always add now from now on. I
Yeah.
also always used to think read customer signals was faster is important, and what you said, that attitude to experiment, that you keep experimenting,
And
keep
react
learning.
faster. Yeah. And
Yeah, yeah,
have this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sharp execution. And yes, the time duration of purchase and consumption has been same now. I think I never used to think from that lens as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
giving your time.
Thank
Means a
you.
lot. Wishing you
Same with
all the best. Yeah,
and like it's been I always keep I also get to learn from you also, that like the questions that you ask, like the answers that you have. I keep going through your posts also.
thank you.
I try to like learn from you how you are thinking about the problem. Also gets me to think, okay, okay, this is where I can also evolve, or like we as an organization can evolve our thinking. Hope to work with you more closely in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Without
you.
a thought. So yeah,
Thank you.
last maybe just have a small rapid fire section. I'll
Yeah.
just ask you a couple of questions quickly. So your favorite or aspiring D2C brand?
I think I'll be biased towards Whole Truth. They were our first
Everyone,
customers.
I think
I think they've been
everyone.
I think the role that I've played in helping us evolve the product, or like just I think there's a mindset to try anything new with us. I think that's just, it has to be them. And
I think
yeah,
they're very common. I think
and
most of the people, 70% have named the whole truth, I would say.
I think first customer is always going to be special for me. Somebody who trusted us. Okay, okay, let's, of course, Nivea was also so there, but I'm saying D2C. This is the first one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, while ordering, maybe you would have waken up. What is the first platform you open whenever you want to order it today?
I think Blinkit.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's just a, it's not a judgment on how other sides does that.
No,
I
no,
have
yeah, yeah, it's
some
fine.
past loyalty that yeah.
Got it.
In fact,
Third is again
now it's become bistro to be honest.
bistro. Okay, okay,
Yeah, because I want my chai when I come to office. So yeah, I think it's become bistro.
got it.
Yeah.
Third again, I think it's already asked, but I want to ask in rapid fire again. The next biggest category in quick commerce.
I think when I said the festive is going to get even bigger from a festive use case. I think toys also. I think it's going to be interesting how that shapes up for from Blinkit. Yeah, but I think
Go-
organizing the entire unorganized sector is going to be truly exciting, and that's going to go beyond just festive. Is what I'm saying. Like whatever you see in the bazaar will start showing up on your Blinkits and Zeptos and Instamarts.
Got it.
Uh,
Thank you so much. I think I just had a few questions only. I hope you liked it, and
of
looking
course,
forward to keep interacting more.
definitely. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for watching the entire episode. I think means a lot to me. I think we've been launching so many episodes now, and thank you so much for giving so much of love across multiple platforms, whether that is LinkedIn, YouTube, and even Instagram as well. Means a lot to us, especially to me and my team as well. But I can see that there are a lot of viewers who haven't subscribed to our channel. I really urge and request that I hope you'll be getting a lot of actionable insights out of it. Do subscribe us, because at the end, it's completely free of cost for you. But for us, it really motivates us to keep bringing these kind of practical and actionable content to you guys, and motivates my very young entrepreneurial creative team as well. So I hope you guys will definitely subscribe to this. And second, I wish you all the best for the sales season of 2025, GIF for Amazon, BBD for Flipkart, and over the other quick commerce marketplaces as well. I hope that your targets and all get fulfilled much before Diwali comes. And in case you need help in growing on Amazon, Flipkart, and other quick commerce marketplaces, do reach out to us. I run a full-fledged growth marketing agency where I help brands grow on all these marketplaces. And second, I have all this knowledge compiled into one place in the form of a course or a program, which is e-commerce plus quick commerce flagship course, which I've just launched, I think, a couple of weeks back, and which is giving a great response from a lot of learners who have already enrolled in. And I see the learners every 15 days for any doubt sessions or anything which they have after buying the course. So all the details and all the links given in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much. Bye. Take care. And do not forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.